Hello, my beautiful sunnies. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Hi, how are you? So today we are back with episode 2 of the brand new legacy that I have written themed around the new Royalty and Legacy expansion pack. This episode is definitely going to be a lot different because a lot has happened since the first episode. So I actually officially released my legacy challenge and will go through it really quickly before we jump into anything. And I'm going to read through Gen 1. So I have officially posted it and released it on my Tumblr, and I did make a post on YouTube, and I did post it in a couple Discord groups that I am a part of. So it is out there. So if you would like to go check it out, feel free to click the link in the description box below and go read through it, see how you like it. And if you do decide to give it a try, don't forget to tag me and use hashtags, and I will go through that when we actually start reading through, because I did list a few hashtags in the Google Doc if you do make anything and upload to the gallery, or you can also tag me on socials. So we'll go through that a little bit more in a bit, but I did go ahead and post it. It's not perfect. It's my first legacy challenge that I've finished and attempted to write pretty much complete. Things are always subject to change as I play through and see what works and what doesn't. So just keep that in mind, or you can change things how you see fit through your gameplay. It's completely up to you. This legacy is meant to be more of a guideline, and nothing's set in stone. So feel free to do whatever you want with it. With that being said, we will read the challenge first and then kind of go through her story. So that'll kind of explain better kind of what's been happening and what's going on with Buttercup. Okay, so getting into the challenge, this is the Eternal Crown Legacy by me. So you'll read through and it kind of just explains. So you can use Eternal Crown, or you can use Eternal Crown Legacy, or hashtag Sunflower Legacy in the gallery if you'd like me to see your creations if you do decide to do this. And of course, you can tag me on social media if you would like as well. And I would love to follow along and see what you guys come up with if you guys do end up trying this out. So if you do try it out, definitely tag me so I can follow along with your Sims and their stories as well. And then I just included links to my YouTube channel and then the specific video that is the intro to my gameplay. In this legacy, you can play as a monarch or either gender you wish, unless stated otherwise. I've written this legacy challenge as I intend to play it. This legacy is more focused on storytelling rather than stressing over a checklist. Let the drama unfold. So obviously, I normally see people choose to play with female Sims in any legacy. They're just more fun to play with. Basically, that's what I had in mind writing this legacy. Is every gen is pretty much a female sim in mind, because that is how I intend to play it. But if you want to do it differently and add your own twist, you can obviously switch it however you like. Like every legacy, you can just change it to your own liking. It's not that big of a deal, and there is no era you must follow exactly, although some gens are inspired by different stories, so like the Princess Bride, Bridgerton, etc. And there are currently only 5 generations in this legacy. I think I might have mentioned this in episode 1, but I will possibly add more once I get to that point or think of new storylines. I did want it to be more feasible and people to think that they have a better chance of finishing it, because I know a lot of legacies people tend to not want to continue, because sometimes legacies will drag on for way longer than 10 generations, and sometimes people just get burnt out. But this is only 5 gens, so maybe it'll be worth trying out. If you're someone who tends to not want to go for something that's incredibly long, you never know. And it would be useful to have CC and mods for this challenge, but again, it is not required. This legacy is written based on the new expansion pack, Royalty and Legacy. I really want you to be able to have the freedom to make your story how you want, so you get to choose every trait and aspiration if one isn't listed. Some errors are picked off vibes, so keep that in mind when choosing traits and such. And then I added a note right here that says highly recommend downloading more traits if you like mods CC, as it adds more personality and diversity. So I do have more traits in my game. So my Sims will have 5 traits rather than 3. And then feel free to rule over whatever world of your choosing. And then I did say here that I have written this legacy with Ondarion in mind, since I will be playing in this world. And then we do have a little bit of setup for the backstory. You can play through this if you want, or you can just set it up and cheat things until you get to the starting point you want. It's completely up to you. So start the game off with a royal family that your founder will marry into. So for me, that is the Thorn dynasty. They are currently the rulers of Ondarion. They can be as rich as you decide. They start off as the king and queen of the world with an adult child, aka the prince. So you want to start off with your royal family already set up. Your sim starts their story off living in Hinford on Bagley on a small farm with 1k simoleons. So this is your founder sim, and I do see see that I forgot to include founder right here. I don't want it to be confusing at all, but this is your founder we are talking about right here. Feel free to use money cheats for your property and whatever else you need to begin. Cheat your money back down to 1K when you're ready. So you can play this out. So get everything that you want them to start out with. Like if you want them to already be living somewhere, whatever, already have animals, and you can cheat all that as if they already started out like that, and then just cheat your money back down to 1K when you're ready. Or you can do this completely rags to riches style. Again, it's completely up to you. This is just how I'm writing my legacy because this is how I want my story to go. You're living off your land with whatever animals, harvest, etc. you have to work with. This is the starting point. So you're basically just selling things that you're growing, that you're getting from your animals and like products like that. That's kind of the only way of making money you have. Focus on creating fun storylines filled with drama versus following strict rules. Let the story unfold, and then have coronations, host balls, tea parties, dinners, or some other sort of social gathering / party for each generation. And then you want to have at least 3 such events per gen. Each gen must regularly hold court. So just kind of some guidelines up here. And then I have like what each gen is like inspired by right here. And then we get into generation 1, which is based off of the Princess Bride. And then I included some fun like little quotes from each story underneath each gen. So we start off, you're a humble soul, you don't have much, just 1K simoleons to live off of while doing what you can to earn money off your farm and animals. Henford on Bagley is graced by your presence and the townies there love you. Your neighbor is also a farmer, in parentheses farm boy, because that's Wesley in The Princess Bride, who has always worked just as hard as you for the things that they have. From stolen glances and secret meetups, you two are in love and have been for a while. You're not sure when the feeling started, but you're so happy and content, you start dreaming of the future that could be. Until you catch the eye of a prince from a kingdom far, far away. He immediately decides you will become his princess, his bride. Your life suddenly feels as if someone just yanked a rug from under your feet. You must move to his castle with him and leave the only home you've ever known and your true love. You pack only the essentials and pets you're able to take with you. Your life is about to drastically change. You're thrown into a life of gowns and jewels, etiquette and prestige. It's foreign to you. All you can think about is the life you left behind. With time, you learn to become a proper princess. You have children, host balls and parties, and eventually start leading a life you thought you'd never see, let alone touch. Will you lead a pure life of royalty and stick strictly to your new duty? Or somewhere along the way, will your heart betray you for true love? So I kind of try to leave all the endings like open-ended because I want you to really just like choose where your story goes. There's like no way it needs to really end. So we have a few requirements and like goals. So you start off with 1K in a small farm on Henford on Bagley. You're lovers with your neighbor. You meet a prince who you go to live with. You sell everything unless it's super special. You will have new lavish things purchased for you, so you don't need to take anything with you. You can decide to keep or get rid of as many pets as you wish, but keep the household slot availability in mind because obviously you want room for new children, and of course your new husband's gonna like have his parents still living with him. And then goals: have at least 3 children, marry the prince, master dancing skill, own at least 1 dog or cat. You can decide if you hook up with your past lover and if you have a secret child with them or not. So you can decide however you want your sim story to go. They can be loyal or they can just completely throw themselves into their new life and not even think about their past lover again. It's literally completely up to you. Create a club with your noble royal friends. Your heir must be the firstborn daughter. You purchase a horse for your heir's teenage birthday. Host at least 1 tea party, 1 ball, and 1 dinner party, and you can host additional events if you wish. Because remember, each gen is supposed to host at least 3 events of some sort. And for tea parties, you can host a gathering or have a club meeting, etc., or any gathering where you make tea counts technically, because I don't think there's a new tea party event. I could be wrong, but I didn't see one when I looked, but I did include a link to this tea party mod if you want to do that as well. And you are the author of your story. You can decide if your sim stays a royal ruler, runs away with her true love forever, or lives a double life while hiding the scandal. So the story is completely up to you. And then the rest of the gens, this one's based off of Daphne from Bridgerton. This one is based off of, it's inspired by Maleficent. It's not technically really based off of that. I just kind of had like a vampire queen in mind that was like evil. So that gen's probably going to be pretty fun, maybe extreme, but I wanted to throw, you know, a little bit of spice in this legacy. And then we have Dearest Gentle Reader, which is based off of Penelope Featherington from Bridgerton. And then we have Empire's Glory, which is loosely based off of Selena Sardothian from The Throne of Glass, which is one of my favorite book series ever. So yeah, this is the beginning of the legacy that I have written. So once again, if you do decide to start this, definitely tag me. I would love to see what you guys come up with. Anyways, the whole intro to this video was kind of the beginning of Buttercup's story. So as you saw, she was just living her life with Wesley, and she has been, as you saw in episode 1. And if you would like to follow on with the storyline and like the screenshots, I will be regularly posting on my Tumblr, and I will also have my new Tumblr linked in the description box below. This Tumblr is going to be strictly specifically for following along with the Eternal Crown Legacy. So that's literally all it's going to be, is just Buttercup story. I have my main Tumblr that I like repost CC and like all sorts of Sims content on there, but then this new Tumblr that I made for this is strictly going to just have my Eternal Crown Legacy on there. So if you want to go follow that to follow along with Buttercup and the screenshots that I take during our gameplay, definitely go follow that if you're interested. But as you saw, she caught the eye of Arthur and she was taken back to the castle to live because she is now going to be the future princess slash queen of Ondarion. She is the bride that he picked out, and those of you who have watched The Princess Bride and have seen that movie, you'll definitely know the story a lot better and kind of like where I'm going with this and how the story is going to kind of unfold. And you're in charge if there's a happy ending or if there's not. Maybe your story, she ends up falling in love with the prince. Like, it's up to you completely. Like, I don't want any strict rules. I think it's really fun to see how people's different stories play out. So, and you'll keep seeing throughout the legacy, like on different generations, there are skills you want to try completing, but don't worry about if you complete them or max them at all. Like, just start the skill and get as far as you can. And don't worry about checking off a checklist for skills and aspirations and all that. Just let your story unfold how it unfolds. Because if worrying about maxing out all sorts of skills is going to take the fun out of it, then we don't want that. So we are here in Verdamar, and that is where the kingdom is. And I just think it looks really pretty. This is the castle. And honestly, I have had my game load up a little slow and like be on a loading screen forever. And it's all happened ever since putting this build in. So it's really big. And there is a chance I might have to switch castles for the sake of my game working. As long as it doesn't break, I'll power through it as long as it like doesn't break my game and like be unbearable to where like I forget to save and then it starts loading and then I have to shut the game off and like lose progress. Like, I hope that doesn't happen. It's happened a couple times already just with like the setup, but this is the kingdom. This is where their palace is. I think the world is absolutely gorgeous and where we are at in the story. So the backstory happened and all that. She did end up having like one last Thanksgiving meal with Robert before she came here. So I'll insert like screenshots of like what kind of happened. But since then, the king and queen obviously have been telling Arthur that he needs to find a wife, he needs to find a suitable match and a young lady to court, and he has been scouring the lands for someone to be the perfect bride and future queen of Ondarion. And he came across the little farm in Henford-on-Bagley, which lo and behold, that was Buttercup's farm. And he was instantly attracted to her. Like, I legit got that notification on my pop-ups. Like, he was attracted to her and he chose her. Like, she's sweet, soft, she's humble. She doesn't come from a super rich background, but that is part of the reason why he really just kind of really took to her. And he just thought that she would be like something in him told him that she was going to be the perfect choice, and he chose her. And of course she was not happy about that, but he does have a duty to his kingdom, and technically he is the son of the king, so she really can't. Obviously she could refuse, but in this world it's not really the thing to do. Like, you shouldn't go against authority of that sort, at least in this storyline that I have. So that's kind of where she is. She went back to the kingdom with him. She has a room here. She obviously was not very happy. She got a whole new wardrobe. They gave her new clothes to dress into. She really wasn't allowed to take anything from her home because she is now going to be very well provided for, so there really isn't a point. So she has many new gowns. She was able to take her pets Regal and milkshake. So she does have a little piece of home. They're kind of all she has right now. She has been trying to get to know Queen Tilly a little bit better. Queen Tilly was trying to offer her some encouraging words about being betrothed to her son and just kind of make her feel better about it. But it is very cold outside actually. So she did come in here to light the fire and warm themselves up, and she went to light the fire and continue talking to Buttercup, but it seems like the conversation is now done. So this episode is pretty much going to be introducing you guys to the kingdom, and I will go through her outfits actually really quickly just in case you guys are interested. And we do have skills like we should learn, like dancing and stuff, but we'll get to that in time. Like right now, she has just been newly brought to the castle and she's just kind of learning and getting her whereabouts. And obviously she's technically betrothed to Prince Arthur, so they're technically engaged, but we do want to make it official technically with like a ring and all that and have them have the title of engaged. So this is her first everyday outfit. We have her second one, her third one, fourth, and her fifth. This is one of her formal outfits. I'm not going to show you the rest because I kind of want to save them for when they have like a ball or something and kind of it to be kind of a surprise. This is another one of her formal outfits and another one, and I'm not going to give her like a wedding dress or anything yet. I think it would be fun to record that and to kind of like pick while you guys are watching. We have her workout wear, we have a couple sleep outfits, we have her party wear. I think I have 3 party wear outfits for her, and then I only have 1 swimming wear. We might add more. And then I did add her a hot weather, and she has a couple cold weather wear. She only has 1 hot weather. I'll probably add her another one, but she has a few outfits for the cold, and I just love this one a lot. But yeah, those are all her outfits. Something else that I forgot to mention in the Google Doc that I'll probably go back and add is you can play on any lifespan you want. Currently, I think my game is set to long lifespan, but it's meant to be normal. I think I switched it to long for my Skylines Legacy, but I do not want to play this one on long probably. I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but I don't know if I want to play this one on long lifespan or not. I feel like I would like to shorten it, but today I feel like we can go ahead and make their engagement official, since technically they are engaged, but obviously to make it official, you know what? I wonder if we can get a gemology table. I think it would be really nice if we actually like took time to like craft a special ring, especially since this is a royal legacy, and I feel like it would make a lot more sense. I'm still upset. I had the idea that, you know, crafting tiaras and like crowns with this would have been really cool to like make custom tiaras and crowns for your dynasties, but I guess that's not a thing. I'm still really upset about that. I wish it was possible for like a mod to be created to be able to do that, because I just think it would be really, really cool. And who knows, it might be possible. I'm not a modder by any means, so I don't know what the limits are to this. So, oh my gosh, you're not supposed to be sleeping there. That is literally your mother's room. But I'm going to come down here and have him design a ring. We're going to have him cut a gemstone. We're going to have him choose this cut because I just think the seed shaped is pretty. We'll do the pear shaped. I think that would be pretty. Emerald, oh my gosh, or turquoise. I think we're going to go with like the emerald scheme for this first gen. Oh, sapphire is really pretty too. I think we're gonna go with the emerald scheme. We're gonna do that. The only thing is with this castle is because it is so large that it takes the Sims forever to get somewhere, like from one side to the other. It takes forever, but they do have a hired butler. So we do have a butler. They do have like a hired maid service, and then we also have like a hired ranch hand service, which I'm not sure how the horse keeps ending up over there, but we are going to teleport the horse back over here because I'm not sure how it keeps getting out of the stable. The only thing is with this castle and the way the stable's set up, and this is another reason why if we might end up changing castles, maybe they'll just have a full-on construction crew come here and make themselves a new castle. I love this castle, but because it's elevated and technically horses can't walk up steps, there's no way for horses to actually get out of here. We can go in from this door right here, but they can't actually like get out of the stable. So all they do to like go riding is basically just travel somewhere, and then to put them back, I just teleport them and cheat it. So I'm not sure why the butler's still in here. She should be able to get out, but she will not leave the stable. So I'm not sure what she's doing. We might have to assign her some tasks, and they will not stop dancing with this right here. She acquired the dance skill, which is good because she needs to learn it, but we are going to have her practice the waltz because she's going to need that skill for a future ball coming up, obviously, because I'm sure they're going to want to celebrate their engagement with hosting a grand ball of some sort. And he is now crafting the engagement ring for his newly betrothed, his future princess. And obviously, Buttercup is not like the happiest right now, but she's going to make do with where she is. Obviously, she wants to try to be content and not just wallow in her grief, and obviously wants to try to, you know, not just be miserable. She wants to try to make the most of it. But obviously she is very sad. So we'll see how her story plays out. It is a very open-ended ending, which is the goal. So you can decide if she leaves, if she stays, just forgets about Robert, if she goes back to him and maybe there's a scandal that ensues, or maybe she finds love where she's at. Like, it's completely up to you how the story goes. I wonder if Tilly can come down here and teach Buttercup the waltz. Buttercup, you do not need to keep going to the fireplace. Come down here and practice the waltz. And also, Arthur has this buff that says suitable match from dynastic guidance. Arthur can't stop daydreaming about his blissful future romance with a special sim his dynasty approves of. So his mother encouraged him to court Buttercup. They do very much approve of her being the future princess. And it looks like she's teaching Buttercup how to dance. Delicate ring. This looks really pretty and it's simple. Let's do this one. I'm not sure why he cut a gemstone if we're not even going to use it. Why did I do that? So that was just a waste of time. Let's just go ahead and design the ring and make sure we like the way it looks for Buttercup, or we might have to make a new one. Okay, it looks like he finished the ring. Let's see what it looks like up close. Well, that looks pretty. I think that's pretty. I don't know what the other rings would look like, but we're going to go with this one and we're going to put this in his inventory. And I'm assuming they automatically propose with the ring they made, or there's a separate interaction. I've never done it before. Why is the horse in the ballroom? That is no, that is not going to happen. Oh my gosh, we're getting a call from Robert. I don't remember saying this. Okay. You know what? From now on, we're going to pretend we didn't get calls from him because we really don't have a way of contacting him technically. So from now on, we're just going to have to hang up on him. We're just going to have to because we technically don't really have a way of contacting him. Buttercup's afraid of drawing attention to him and letting her newly betrothed and the ruler of Ondarion, if he knew about her past lover, if she feels like it would just bring Robert more harm than good and put a target on his back. So she's not going to do that. Oh my gosh, a peeping Tom. So she is just going to have to deal with it at this point, and she just can't talk to Robert. And looks like she's outside journaling. So he's actually going to talk to her and basically tell her, hey, I want to take you somewhere, and you know, we're gonna go somewhere, and she doesn't know that she's about to be proposed to. Let me get a picture of him holding her hands. And keep in mind, she's technically still not happy about this, but obviously we will have to get their romance up to be able to propose. Okay, so the option to propose is now available, and it's perfect because they didn't kiss or do anything like physical, which is good and perfect for the storyline. So I think it really fits because they're technically supposed to be engaged and she doesn't really have feelings for him. So that is perfect that we didn't have to like do anything that she wouldn't really want to do. So they're going to go travel to the place that I set up for their proposal, and he is going to pop the question, which obviously she has to accept. So they're technically betrothed regardless, but to make it official, we are going to go and have a little proposal. Okay, so we are here in Tartosa, and I just think this is absolutely beautiful. And I know that's supposed to be an A, but this is a law I found on the gallery, and someone did tell the creator that's supposed to be an A, not an E, but it's okay. It's still really, really pretty, and I understand what it's supposed to say. I just think this is really gorgeous, and we're going to see if we can have a successful proposal. I need to make sure I get lots of pictures. I want to propose with the crafted ring right here. So we're going to go ahead and do this. The delicate ring, and they're not going to be perfectly underneath this heart, but it's okay. Not everything's going to be perfect. We'll at least get some pretty pictures. And let's look at this ring in person. Oh, that's pretty. Well, that's pretty. I think we made a good choice. I think it'll be really interesting to see what the other gemstones look like for future generations, and like we can choose different things. I think that'll be super, super pretty. He looks like he's so in love with her. So I don't know if Arthur has feelings for her or not, or if he'll gain feelings. I know he didn't go into this expecting to really care about feelings, but you never know. You never know what could happen. So I'm not going to say, never say never. As of right now, they're technically not the happiest, but you never know. Maybe they'll become friends over time in their journey to becoming king and queen together. Not all love stories start off perfectly. You are free to do whatever you want with yours. Maybe it'll end badly, or maybe it'll be a perfectly imperfect love story. You never know. He wants to have a wholesome romantic dynamic with her. So I'm going to have him give her a gold necklace. She's like, you shouldn't have. This is too pretty. This is too much. The only thing is with the ring that he crafted, like he proposed with it, but the ring, like in cast, I went to check because when I was trying to pose them and like do engagement photos, this ring like only goes on the right hand, not the left. So that kind of doesn't make sense to me, but it's whatever. I feel like they should have added the option, especially for the rings that you propose with, to go on the left hand, because that's obvious. Like it like, that's the hand it goes on. So I just think that they should have thought that through and made, like, having rings that go on the right or left hand is fine, but especially rings that they gave the option to propose with should have the left hand option, if that makes sense. So that does not really make sense to me. But it's whatever. I mean, she's still engaged. She's still wearing the ring. It's just not on the correct hand. We also got a call from Robert Florin again, but we hung up. And this lady thinks that we are cute together. So we're also getting approval from our fellow nobles, but they are going to go home now. I think that is a good way to wrap up this second episode of this legacy. I definitely think that the king and queen, Roper and Tilly, are going to want to throw a grand ball to celebrate their son's engagement with their future daughter-in-law, aka the future princess of Ondaria. Now we have officially started Gen 1. Gen 1 technically starts about now when you are taken to the castle. That is why we are starting off at this point. I did try to film a little bit of the backstory just to kind of give you guys an idea, and I did play through the backstory, and that is my own choice, but you guys do not have to play through the backstory if you guys do not want to. You could just set everything up and then begin, or you can play through it. I know everybody has a different play style, and that is completely up to you, completely up to the player's discretion. I have arrived and Queen Tilly is still dancing to music. I am going to turn this off yet again. But that is going to conclude today's episode. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. As always, I really hope you enjoyed this, and I really hope you enjoy my new legacy. If you do decide to play it, if you think anything should be changed or added, you feel free to let me know. But Buttercup is going to finish her long day with a bath with soaks, and she is doing rose petals specifically. So she is just going to relax up here in her room. She is still not, of course, in the brightest of spirits, but she is newly engaged and she does have some new duties that she will have to attend to. Maybe in the next episode we will host the grand engagement ball. We'll see what we decide to do. But yeah, this is the royal family that we will be playing with for this legacy challenge. Again, if you do decide to play this challenge, don't forget to use the hashtags in the gallery so I can see your creations, and tag me on social media if you would like me to see your storylines as well. You can find this challenge linked in the description box below. I will have the link to the Google Doc as well as a link to my Tumblr, where I will be posting all story updates for this challenge and Buttercup storyline and all the generations to come. But yeah, guys, I am super excited because I think this is going to be new and different, since it is a different vibe and themed pack than we've had in a long time. So I really hope you enjoy and follow along. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it so very much, and I will see you all in the next one.